What is up, everybody, and welcome. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Anton knives Boudicca. We did this last time. I have already had one of these knives come across the table, and it was pretty early in Anton's making career, and the knife had some flaws. And so it was always a plan of mine to get more of his knives to come across the channel as he had an opportunity to improve. And I am very happy to say that these are some pretty sick little knives. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. We have two knives on loan. We have this one from Tony Meter, and we have this one from Russell, aka That's Not a Knife, on Instagram. Now, this knife is brand spanking new. This knife was shipped from South Africa, brand new from Anton to Russell, who forwarded it along to me within the same day or so. So this is a brand new knife, not quite worked in yet, but definitely a great example of the beautiful dragon skin Damascus. And then this one has, from Tony Meter, is going to be a little worn away in terms of the color. From, obviously carry and use, which is super awesome, but it's going to be a little bit more worn in, and we're going to get to take a look at one that has been carried and used. So let's go ahead and look at some of the aesthetic features of this knife. Now, this blade has some imperfection sort of to the color, but that tends to happen with this stuff. Okay, so I'm actually quite silly. Those were indeed fingerprints. So you can see we have these beautiful colors. Now, I'm really not a fan of this stuff. Anton uses it a lot. There's a lot of makers that have started to use it a lot. I understand that just because I don't like something doesn't mean that it shouldn't exist. And plenty of people find it beautiful, and I understand why people buy it. But it just really doesn't do it for me. So you're not going to hear me gushing too much about this, this Damascus stuff. I'm not a particular fan. Mainly because you can't really use this stuff. And, if you carry it and whatever, it ends up looking like this, which is like kind of defeats the purpose. But of course, before you start getting angry and like, well, I don't want one of these then, obviously Anton will make the knife with whatever kind of freaking steel you want. So if you want that hand rub blade like is traditional on some South African knives, then you can have it. He's also working with some new blade styles. He is carrying on with the same model. But you can see here, this is the original blade style. He has moved on to offering this harpoon version, and there's another version as well. And then again, if we just sort of take a look at the out-of-the-box action, incredibly smooth, nice solid detent. This handle, a little bit on the small side, so if you like a smaller knife, this one's going to do you well. And a little bit of a shake. Again, not worn in, brand new, right out of the box. So very smooth, but a little tight at this time. And if we take a look at the one that's a little bit more worn in, you can see the blade is just as smooth as any other good old South African knife. Nice, solid deployment. An issue that we had on the original knife was, of course, the lock slip. Not a problem anymore. I hope Tony doesn't get too pissed that I did that, but, your blade spine already looks like this, so there's not too much I could do on a leather surface. But, yeah, so just a really nice opportunity to show you guys that Anton has been improving. He's been coming along. He's offering all kinds of interesting new versions of the knife, This, of course, again, the dragon skin Damascus backspacer and everything like that. So he's got these Cerakoted handles that you can get. He's got the carbon fiber with a bolster like the original one that we had. He does hand engraving on certain blades and bolsters as well. That's a feature that he offers. And so if you're looking at some South African knives, You want something maybe a little bit on the smaller side, a little bit on the thinner side. You prefer frame locks. Most South African knives, particularly the ones that I'm a fan of, are liner locks. Now, I'm partial to liner locks, so that is part of that. But, if you've been sort of looking for a South African knife and saying, these are all liner locks, and quite frankly, I'd like a frame lock, well, hit up your boy Anton and get yourself a Boudicca. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm really glad again to see Anton sort of improving. I am really looking forward to whatever his next model is. I haven't seen one. Again, he's working with some new blade styles on this one, but I'm sure that's something that he's got in the pipeline. So I am always looking forward to seeing what he does next. He is an absolutely delightful maker. He is incredible when it comes to things like customer service and reachability. And so if that's a concern of yours, then Anton's definitely a great knife maker to work with. And another sort of side of that is that I have a lot of friends who don't buy a lot of South African knives because they're nervous about the shipping regarding maintenance work. And I have to say that Anton 100% stands by his product, and it doesn't matter where you are in the world. If there is an issue with your knife, he's going to make it right at the absolute fastest speed that is humanly possible. So again, definitely a maker that you want to support and look out for. Check out his Instagram. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, gentlemen, for sending these knives along so we could take another look at Anton's work. I am absolutely delighted. Of course, if you guys would like to see beautiful pictures of these knives, you can follow at That's Not a Knife and at Tony.meter on Instagram. And if you'd like to reach out to me for any reason whatsoever, you can do so by by emailing me at tovarishworks@gmail.com. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.